Greetings to all and sundry, Johnson North Wales here. Time for another video. This is the Mig-21 Yugoslav Air Force build. It's for the in-foreign service group build run by UK Skill Modeler and for the IS-2's Yugoslav Air Force group build. So, a bit of info here about how the Yugoslavia came to have the Mig-21s. After the Czech invasion, Tito had to shift things so it was more aligned with the Russian sphere of influence, and in 1962 they moved into the jet age with the acquisition of MiG-21s. So you see some pictures here of the aircraft in the Yugoslav scheme, and here it is emerging from the underground shelter at an airbase that was excavated from the side of a mountain, and the Yugoslav tradition of dispersing their forces, so spreading the effort there. And there's the Mig-21 F13 at Belgrade Aircraft Museum, a place I visited when I was a youngster. I bought the kit from Hannon's Online in February, along with a set of decals especially for these two group builds. And the kit comes in 3 sprues of reasonable quality. I disliked the silver colour of the plastic, though there is a reasonable amount of finely engraved detail. It's actually quite nicely done. The Begemot Decals set is for later MiG-21s, but with a little bit of tweaking it'll do for the F13. I also got it for some future planned builds. I do like the variety of nations covered on that sheet. Construction, as always, begins with the cockpit. It builds up and paints up very nicely, and as always I use Privateer Press Arcane Blue for the interior. It just gives the right shade. The fit is okay, though not great, and before sanding and filling I marked the seam lines with black marker pen and then sanded it down. All the joints needed some attention. Not brilliant, to be honest. I use Deluxe Products Perfect Putty as the main filler. I do like how this stuff works, but I think it does need a few layers in places because of shrinkage as it dries. The ejection seat is actually very nicely detailed sub-assembly and paints up very well. It really makes the cockpit shine. The internal screen HUD was masked and painted black. That's quite significant there. After masking, I painted the cockpit frame with the arcane blue again, so that it shows through after the main painting. I undercoated the MiG with Tamiya Gloss Black, as it's a nice base for metallic coats. I airbrushed Vallejo metal colour Durilium all over as my basic metallic coat. I would say make sure you give that paint a good shake first before applying. And then I adjusted the tone on a number of the panels just to add some variety with the Vallejo flat aluminium and some GW metallics, washes and other things, just to give a little bit of variety there without heavy weathering. After sealing the surface with Johnson's Clear, I applied Flory Model black wash. The goal really wasn't to weather heavily, but just make things stand out a bit. After cleaning up the black panel line wash, and you can see there a bit of variety on the tone. Now I couldn't resist putting in a pic of Mig's the cat. I have to be careful how I leave my bench during the daytime, so she doesn't knock stuff off when she goes on to one of her favourite windowsill purchases. So the Begemot Decals are of good quality, but the fairing on the tail created problems, even with microset and microsol. I had to cut round the fairing and then paint over the exposed edges by brush painting. It worked out okay in the end, and it settled down over the detail quite well. The undercarriage is a bit fiddly, but it fits well and sits quite evenly. The 516 ID number was adapted from the 165 number on the decal sheet, and the air-to-air missiles came from some spare sprues that I invariably have. I like that they add a bit of contrast to the metallic finish of the aircraft. And there we are, finished. Beautiful. I think this model came out quite well. You can see that the drop tank, I did that in the flat aluminium just to add a little bit of contrast to it. I like how the decals settled, and overall I think you get a very nice early MiG-21 from this set. Some other angles as well. I'm quite happy with the way this it sits evenly, and you don't really need any nose weight either to get it to sit right. So overall, in all fairness, this was a pretty good kit with a bit of effort. It builds up very nicely. If you want an early version of the MiG-21, this kit is well worth doing. Purely from a personal perspective, it was very nice at last to have a Yugoslav aircraft in the collection. Thank you to UK Scale Modeler and IS2 for their feedback as the build was progressing. From phoning in the order, Hannons had it delivered, the kit and the decals, in 4 days. Once again, great customer service. For the most part, I don't do many group builds, but it was nice to do 2-in-1 build. So thank you for watching. Was gledanie. Sretna modelaraji. I Bog. Blagosławi. Johnson, North Wales, signing out.